Hello, I'm John Joe. Welcome to Line War. Today we have a free-for-all with 8 players. This is the picking phase of the free-for-all with 8 players. It's a bit chaotic. I have recommended what we can do to fight against this blacklisting, sort of maybe use it as like an area of influence. So if you pick here and blue picks here, if the area was covered by each other, then it would pick this one, and this one for blue, and this one, and this one for purple. I can't tell if there's 2 there. I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's just 1. So I think, do you know what I mean? It sort of halves it out. And as we can see, we've got blue picking their spaces now. So that means everyone must be picking their spaces. As we flick through, we can sort of see where people are going through. I did flick through that fast, but there's quite a few players. And this is where people start. We've got one starting over here. He started with just 1 group of units on this one. So they started with 1 territory. If they win this, that'll be epic. A single territory to start with, right in the middle of the map again. So, over here, where's dark blue? We'll start from... No Respect for the Devil is over here, Alpha Team. We're going to go down the list. Now we're looking for Red, who is over here. Then we got Ali the Pigeon, who is Orange. Where's Orange? Oh, Orange started with 1 single territory over there. We're going to have some quick engagements over here. We've got 3 players fighting in the middle. So after Ali the Pigeon, it is fastest all day as the teal player there. This person, I can't tell colours that well. Let's have a look. Is that one purple? I can't tell. This one over here and this one over here is either Snow Meester or someone said that my nickname sucks. Between those 2 on the list, I can't read this guy, so I'm calling him Bob, as I always do. And I'm not sure that it's Nubs. I think they're different characters. Correct me if I'm wrong, I just can't remember. But they are going for a nuke over here, along with some factories up in the north. And then we got Black as Snuffbox. Or Snuffbix. But they are pushing south towards teal over here. I'm just going to refer them as colours because it's just easier in this respect. And they're getting really close. This player is surrounded. There's red over here, black there, and purple over there. And they're going to want to have these out quick. And I would recommend using helicopters at this point. But they don't even have... They do have energy. So that's lucky. They got a bit of energy in the water. But with 2 players going with a navy over here, it's going to be a bit difficult for them to keep up with that. And I've just thought, actually, Ali the Pigeon over here has got C units, but they're going to need to get over here really quickly. Because they need to get some energy. They don't get that. And their navy is not going to last much longer in general. Just running. Up in the north section over here, we've got a pretty big gap over here of empty space. Which I think Bob over here sent a couple of infantry just to check out who was there. No one is, so they know it's free to claim. As we can see, blue is pressing down against purple. I'm pretty sure this one is someone said that my nickname sucks. I can't be certain. And this one I think is Snowmeester. If I line up the colours, I might be able to tell. Yeah, I think Echo Team is this colour. And nickname is there. And we've already lost a player over here as all the players pushed in against him. As I was just assessing my colour blindness. I apologise. But we got purple pushing in against black now. I would personally retreat from that battle. You're not going to win. So they need to try and call their units back. But they're going to try and push through anyway. If anything, you want to push them into the forest. And hope that the forest gives you enough bonus to survive this. Red is now on the offensive over here with some commandos pushing the front line in front of these artillery. But black is bringing in some reinforcements, but it's going to have to deal with a scout from over here. And black is in a fairly vulnerable spot as well, so they're going to need to secure a decent location, preferably a bit south, but they're going to be pressured on that side of it. Because they're right in the middle of the map pretty much, so anyone can pretty much send an attack their way, even by accident. Strikers are on the move, heading towards Blue's base over here, which is vulnerable from the air and the ground. I think they lost a lot of units trying to fight against purple down here. I think I'm getting confused with the colours, just so you know. I think this one's pink. I'm going to say pink. I'll try, if I remember. But yeah, they're going to take on this. There's a few helicopters lying around, but they're out of energy. Down here, we've got one still running, so I'm assuming he's got a bit of energy left over, which is from this power plant over here. And it looks like they've given in. They're demoing most of their buildings there. And I think that means they're out of the game. Yeah, they are. No Respect for the Devil has gone too. That is 2 players out of the match pretty quickly in this game. And red is still pushing through the side towards black. Black's not too worried about it though. They're sending some units down to the left-hand side against some exposed structures from Nickname, who's building a city. How is Pigeon doing up here? Pigeon did manage to get an energy well going, not before they ran out of energy, but they have managed to secure these 2 locations, which will be key for them to survive. I don't know about winning yet. But red seems to have held back reinforcements. They're sending some in through this side, but they're not too worried. They're going to build up some numbers first, and it looks like they've got some barracks set up down here to try and claim these territories. And those strikers have come into the ocean and taken over an energy well, which I'm not sure who owned that. I'm assuming it was Nickname. And as you can see, green has taken some territory over here. They've started building a factory up in the north on this side of the map. So green is looking to control the entirety of the north and has had this rocket built for quite a while now. What just took that out? Oh, Green Commando coming down, taking out this industry over here with a group of infantry there. Red sending their units in to deal with that response. And some units are moving down here. Red's going to end up engaging with them if they're not careful. We have some units moving to the mountains over here. Strikers have diverted from the one enemy that was between these 2 and now attacking Nickname. This is going to be quite confusing for me, I'll be honest. But as you can see, it's just the strikers at the minute taking out this defensive line over here. With 1 artillery piece firing in as well. But I don't think it's going to last much. He's gone. Black is also pushing in from the side, so Nickname is feeling a lot of pressure right now from 2 different players. They're not too worried though. They've got a lot of units spread out checking out the area. Although I think about it, I'm not sure who that is. I think that's Snow actually. Yes, the Snow's pushing in through the side here. Taking territory away from Nickname. As you can see, they're starting to fire, and I see the rocket coming in right in front of his army, sending it in towards most of the production in the town. I don't think they got much out of that. Maybe a couple of units. Actually, quite a few units, because the units over here have gone too, so that's just caused mostly a lot of damage. Although it doesn't look like there's a lot of eco loss there, trying to repair these structures, which will happen over time, will cost eco over here. Black has decided to set up a defense here instead of trying to push forward. And Nickname has noticed that and is trying to pressure through before the defenses get completely set up. And Black is now trying to press their way to the right hand side, possibly seeing the nuke and thinking now's the time to attack. And I think they've just spotted the barracks down here, so they're trying to make their way down that way, but reinforcements are cutting them off. On this side, we have the strikers defending the area, but they run out of energy, so they're going to be struggling a little bit. And I think Nickname managed to snipe this energy well over there. And that's what's causing the energy issues for them, because they have no other energy supply. They're going to need to start building power plants if they're going to try and keep those guys running. Green is taking over the location of red down here. But red has also built some barracks over on this side, which is going to allow them to push forward, but we've already got an army coming in to take them out. Pigeon over here is getting ready with a city. They've got quite a few units guarding their coastal lines, but they're quite content at staying where they are for now. They may come over soon, but I don't think they're too worried just yet. They want to make sure they're ready before they attack. up in the north, there's just a few battles going on, stopping each other from expanding, but they're not going full force into each other. Unlike Nickname and Black over here. And I think the problem here, they've left the black line, which is a defensive line, on, which means that as these units come close to the enemy will deploy to fire with their artillery, but the enemies, or the black's artillery, will just keep moving towards this black line. This line needs to be deleted at this point, or turned into an orange one. And Snowmeester just left the game. I think that was mostly because of the energy issues. A lot of their units were air units, which means losing that energy well was unfortunately one of the worst things that could happen. But that's left a large open space over here for anyone to capture, and green's in a good position to do so. Red has managed to survive the attacks from green and black. Is now about to be attacked by yellow, which is really unfortunate for him. He's just been caught right in the middle of everything and is now trying to reclaim some lands over here and survive the attacks that are coming in now. On this side of things, Black and Nickname are going against each other. They're just sending in what they can, but Nickname's also trying to expand up north, which Black isn't really doing right now. He's just focused on Nickname, and he doesn't seem to have any units going to the other side. And I just realised I didn't have commands on for everyone. Now I do. There we go. A few sneaky commandos coming in here. They're trying to find anything they can. By the looks of it, they were going for an industry here just in case it was built. But they did find an artillery and they're on their way to take it out. They do manage to get that just before it escapes. Got some units trying to go up that way. And you've got to remember, green still has another rocket. They can send that in whenever they want, as long as it's within range. And red was quite cheeky. They managed to try and claim a territory up here, but it was spotted. And Bob is going to take that out. And green is doing a great job at expanding across the top part of the map. If we just have a quick look outward, green is covering the majority of this island. Even though Nickname's doing really well trying to expand, he's been under pressure quite a bit and he's focused on the ocean now. And they are taking over land in the ocean. So let's have a quick look at the economy. So number 1 is gone, number 2 is still alive, that's red. So red is on 700. Ali the Pigeon is on 578. Even though they got a city, it's not building up enough eco for them on its own. You need the territories, really. So 4 and 5 are gone. 6 is Bob, and Bob is on 840. Nickname is on 620. Snuff is on 400. So they're not doing good at all, being stuck in the middle right now. With these units coming in through the bottom here, trying to expand, they're also putting pressure on him, which is taking away his territory, which is his eco, and he's losing out from that. Nickname decided to pull back, I think, and he's just focused on this forest edge, and that allows him to send his units up north to expand instead, which is possibly going to initiate a fight with green, maybe even a response from him as well. And as green tried to push through a couple of times, it looks like red's actually pushing back. They found a second nuke silo, and these commandos have just ran into a group of artillery waiting for them in that forest. Got a bit of a standoff, just facing off at each other. I'm just going to speed it up a little as the game is still expanding again into old territories. It looks like green is pushing through this forest. They've managed to take out the majority of red's forces on the front line there. But red has mostly been building up units here to defend by the looks of it, from yellow, who's building up a little bit of their own civilization. They're just doing their own thing. How have you built in the black lines over here? I didn't even know you could do that. So as long as you're in the land, you can still build these there, because these maps loop from left to right. So if we have a look on this side, technically he's built them like here. Is that right? Yeah, because this is the loop bits, then it curves in, there's that ridge. Let's go over here, there's the ridge, and there's the loop bit. So he's built them on this section too. If this was a looping map, he would be very in danger right now from nickname, but luckily it's not. Though I can't wait to see it when they do that. They think they plan to do that, I'm not sure. I've heard it, but I don't think I've heard it from the devs themselves. Let me know in the comments if you know. But green is pushing back down through the south now. In multiple locations, they're still expanding. Black has spotted them. They're going to come up through this side and try and take them out, but I think they've split up their forces a little too much. And these guys are being taken down out by helicopters. But green are also bringing down some more artillery, but the helicopters are going to deal with them pretty well. There isn't much production over here, so I'm not going to be able to switch into SAM units very quickly. But he has spotted it, and he does plan to switch. He's going to set up defences in the mountains to counter that. The defence will help against the helicopters, even if they can't fire back, because they just boost the defence and they'll last longer. Which will give him more time to respond. And there is a ton of commandos coming in for these artillery here. But unfortunately, because they're moving over the mountains, the artillery have an amazing advantage here. And so far, I don't think the commandos have fired a single bullet. Oh, there we go. This guy's doing good. So I think green is going to take some really good trades from this part here. And that's going to put red in a really bad position now. He hasn't got really much to defend with anymore. Green is sneaking some commandos in themselves. And it looks like nickname has spotted yellow. And yellow is pushing forward. That destroyer looks like it's going to get absolutely destroyed. As green is reorganizing their troops down on the bottom there. But it looks like nickname has completely dominated this area with the helicopters. And is taking over a lot of this territory. Mostly with infantry. And it looks like he's secured this location here. Created a choke point in the mountains. Might be better if that was pushed back just a little bit. So that the units coming over it spend more time on the slower region. Just as a thought, but the helicopters are going to come in and clear that up now. So nickname is not too worried about that. Red is forcing themselves into a hedgehog position. Trying to defend themselves as best they can. They're going to lose ground down here to black. They're losing the ground up here to green. And anything in the ocean is nickname or pigeons over there. So unfortunately for red, it looks like they're being pressured and backed into the corner. And it's going to take a bit for them to try and come back in this. Black and nickname over here do seem to have this agreement of non-firing for now. And green still has that rocket, which hasn't fired for quite a long time. He's playing his own Cold War type of game. And even if he did fire it this way, he could get a lot of infantry from it. But because there's so many of them, you don't know where to hit. Here, here, or here. And it's not like he can see very well because of the fog of war. Yellow is invading up in the north here. Ready to try and take over the land. He's got a lot of units here. If he sent all of these over, he might be able to do well. And it looks like green's fired their rocket, which means he's not going to be able to stop yellow now. Not with that rocket anyway, unless he's got another hidden somewhere. And he fires it against black. I probably wouldn't have done that. Black's one of the weakest players right now. Especially with the eco. They're doing better because red's going down slowly. But they're still on the recovery side of things. You really probably wanted to do that against nickname. And as he brings his infantry into the forest, the majority of those units are grouped up. So I'd probably fire it here. If he could ascend. But that's quite a lot of infantry, and infantry are really cheap, so I don't know if it would be worth it. Money-wise, anyway. The defense from green over here has fallen. And over in this section, Nickname has spotted a little pathway in. Done a couple of units that way. And Bob is building up some SAM units, and Ali the Pigeon just gave up the flag there. I'm not sure exactly what happened. There's no marks on the ground for a nuke, but I think they just gave up. I thought they could have done well, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know how far they would have got, but I think they would have done well. It looks like Nickname's not willing to try and take on the base. He's just trying to capture extra territories for themselves. Over in this section, the helicopter seems to have done their job. There's quite a few of them. And there's only one structure left on this side of the mountains over here. And they're sending in infantry to capture the land and take over those structures there. That structure there. The black player is bringing in through the south against red. Red is trying their best to stay in this game. But eventually they're going to run out of territory to build on. And it looks like he's trying to escape. He's got a commando coming out here. And if you follow the path, there's another one just here, which is getting shot at. It looks like a third one went down here. So two have now died. He needs to create a new path. And he's got one last barracks behind at the forest here with a defensive line here. Red is just trying desperately here. But on the other side of it, once these three structures go down, as you can see already, green and black are going to collide in the middle here. And the helicopters are coming for black now. They're going straight for the middle of this defensive line. And these two enemies are literally right next to each other with the defensive line facing either way. The artillery will take them out, but I do find that quite a cheeky play. Red is still trying to rebuild. They're still willing to try and not give up. Definitely going to try and push. Oh, it looks like someone else just left. Black. So that's Snuff. Snuff is now gone, giving Nickname an extra section over here. And Bob just gave up too. I think he saw the pressure from Nickname and decided to give in. So who is is Red literally the last player? Nickname versus Red. Red is literally on this. Now, I'm pretty sure not much else is going on. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we'll have a look at the eco. Why not? So Red's eco is on 270 right now. And he is versus Nickname, who is on 1,645. So he's a little bit behind. And I think he's got a good chance to win this. But he doesn't agree. So he's going to give up. Let's have a look at the stats then. So we're going to have a look at the graphs. For a while, Bob here had the majority of the map. And you can see that he was winning for a while. And Pigeon actually was winning at this point when it comes to value. And he had that small section of island with a city on it. So it was quite valuable for a little while, but it just wasn't effective enough. Anyway, there are two videos on screen right now. Feel free to click on one and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.